Oh, Facebook. Or I guess it's Meta now. So as pretty much the entire world knows, the company Facebook has gone through a recent rebranding into Meta, with a whole new logo and stock ticker to come with it. To the man Mark Zuckerberg, the transition represents a whole new chapter to his story. To us, it represents an endless source of memes.
What is that?
Born on May 14th, 1984 in White Plains, New York.
Congratulations, you too.
Mark Zuckerberg was raised in the most suburban, middle-class, white picket fence-looking head-ass family you could think of, with his dad as a dentist and his mom, Karen, as a psychiatrist. So you already know the kids of this family are going to be pretty well educated. From the start, Zuckerberg has shown strong signs of his passion and genius in computers and technology. At just the age of 12, he created his own messaging system called ZuckNet using Atari Basic. The kid was basically speedrunning through his middle school and high school years like an OP genius main character from an anime. And throughout this time, his passion for programming continued, with many big tech companies like Microsoft offering to hire the guy even before he graduated high school. It was during these years that anyone could tell that this little redhead kid was going to do something truly exceptional one day, which will later lead him to join the one university that could help train such exceptional, egotistical,
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better
people such as himself, Harvard University. This was a very pivotal time in Zuckerberg's life as he further explored the limits of his own programming capabilities with programs like Course Match and Face Mash. But it was one other crucial discovery that would help Zuckerberg reach billionaire status: Harvard Connections. You see, Harvard Connections was a project first proposed by three people: Divya Narendra and Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss. Basically, the story was that these guys came up to Mark and asked him to help with the programming of Harvard Connections. But as we all know, Zuck would ditch them and create his own social networking site called Facebook. And look, there's a lot of controversy behind this, with a lot of he said and she said. Divya and the Winklevoss team said he stole their idea, and Mark said he was inspired by it and didn't use any of the code. But that would be settled once Mark would pay $65 million to those three, giving him full legal access to Facebook once and for all. Well, at least after he diluted the shares of his friend and business partner, Eduardo Chavrin, from 24% ownership to less than 10%. And of course, Eduardo would also sue, and eventually Mark would have to settle this out of court by most likely giving him some money and some stake in the company. But at the end of the day, all the suing and mental stress would be worth it, as Facebook would blow up in popularity and Mark would be announced as the world's youngest billionaire at 23 years old in 2007. And for years, it just seemed like everything was going right for Mark. He continued building up Facebook, he made very smart investment decisions like Instagram, and married his college sweetheart. The guy was on top of the world, and it didn't seem like there could be anything to stop him. But I guess that was kind of true to an extent, because ultimately what stopped his seemingly endless growth was himself.
What we do here is go back.
Virtual reality. The use of technology to create digital computer-generated environments which can be explored and interacted with. The concept of virtual reality has popped up pretty much everywhere throughout pop culture and history. Some of the first conceptions of the idea came from a book in 1935 called Pygmalion's Spectacles, while the first VR device most likely came in 1957 called the Sensorama, invented by Morton Halig. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. So yeah, this concept has been around forever. But due to recent developments in society, virtual reality has taken up much more prevalence and importance these days. While us nerds were pondering the idea of swinging around swords in the virtual world, one person was busy destroying his public image. Throughout the years, Facebook has been getting hit with scandal after scandal. And if there's controversy regarding Facebook, most people will always point their fingers at the one leading the whole thing because it makes everything easier. In this case, it was my guy Mark. Some of the most well-known scandals were Facebook conducting psychological tests on 70,000 Facebook users without their consent in 2014, Cambridge Analytica harvesting data from millions of Facebook users without their permission, FTC fined of $5 billion for user privacy violations, and there's definitely a lot more out there. It's just when you create a company that large and global, controversy and flaws just comes with the territory. Around this time in 2014, he would make a very foreshadowing acquisition of a virtual technology company called Oculus for $2 billion, which will become very important for Facebook's transition in the future. Now about Zuckerberg himself, the guy just seemed a little bit more distant You could tell by watching how he showed himself in 2004 compared to how he shows himself in front of the public now that something has definitely changed. Which is not that surprising because he has gathered a lot more experiences and even more money since then. But still, you could tell that this change in perceived persona made people feel a lot more disconnected to his overall message, and ultimately what he was selling and going to sell. During the pandemic, the majority of us were stuck inside our houses, which meant that the only way to interact with others were through the digital space. During this time, many tech companies like Zoom and TikTok exploded in value as people were forced to use these programs because, you know, being stuck inside and everything. This showed people even more so how important virtual technology is to the future of mankind. I mean, we did know this was going to be in our future, but it was the first time it was forcefully shoved in our faces that, yeah, this shit is crucial. While this whole thing prompted many companies to accelerate the pace of their virtual technologies and also helped one billionaire realize how much power he can truly have if he controlled this new virtual frontier. Later in October 2021, Zuckerberg would announce that he is changing the parent company, Facebook's name to Meta, which not only helps separate it as a holdings company that owns Facebook, social media, and other investments, but also marks the company's new goal towards the metaverse. The concept behind the metaverse is basically virtual reality, a place where people could go digitally to interact with others and the virtual environment. And Meta has already spent tens of billions of dollars on their shift towards focusing on metaverse-centric technology, specifically their Reality Labs division. This is also where their acquisition of Oculus becomes quite useful as they already merge Oculus's technology with theirs. With all this money Meta and Zuckerberg are spending on the metaverse, you would think that people would be a little bit more excited towards this new frontier in technological innovation. People just aren't feeling metaverse, man. It kind of just turned into a meme. Because remember, according to my guy Simon Sinek, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And with their mission statement being to connect others, and the leader of the whole damn ship feeling even more disconnected with normal everyday Joes more than ever, people just aren't connecting with the story anymore. It may just be a coincidence with this whole bear market and recession and everything, but since Facebook announced Meta, their stock market performance isn't really doing the best, especially compared to the major companies that didn't drop as much compared to them. But Facebook, the social media, still has the most active users out of any social media platform at 2.94 billion active users in 2021. While even Instagram is still up there on the list, with 1.44 billion active users in 2021. Their social media game is still going strong. Although I do have concerns for the longevity of Facebook social media itself, because trust me, you're not gonna catch many of the younger generation on that shit. It's kind of now known as a community where middle-aged moms go to share pictures of their kids nowadays. Or it's just my mom. I might be tripping. As 77.6% of users on Facebook in the United States are people 25 years old or older. Currently with Meta, they recently had their Connect 2022, which gave us a lot of new updates and promises for the future of their company, which focused a lot on their virtual reality technology such as Horizon World, their virtual world that released last year with mixed reviews, their new MetaQuest Pro VR headset, and future AR applications. But the most important thing from that hour-and-a-half video was that they finally added legs to their avatars. Overall, the main problem that Meta's metaverse is having right now is connecting to this new younger generation. Not as a meme, but something people would actually use in their everyday life. Because if the younger generation thinks it's cool, the older generation is gonna pick it up sooner or later. But damn it, those graphics. They also have to fight through the barrier of how people actually enjoy going out into the physical world and interacting with real human beings physically more than digitally. Which was proven once COVID ended. No matter how introverted you are, you can't compare the feeling of hanging out with your friends and family in real life compared to virtually, or especially the current state of the metaverse. If they can find a way to bridge that psychological gap, they're good to go. And if this video feels like it came across me hating on Mark Zuckerberg, that's definitely not the case. I actually respect what he's doing. A lot of people may say it's just a money grab and that he's doing it so that he could have full control of his own world where he makes the rules, and that definitely could be the case. Another way you could look at it is that he's helping the advancement of a very cool and prominent future technology that will be a part of our lives, most likely not today, but definitely in the future. Also, at the end of the day, most businesses and innovations, no matter how innocent it seems, are brought on by people expecting glory or wealth out of it. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely some people out there that innovate just to innovate and to help grow humanity. But let's be honest here, that is definitely in the minority. And if you don't think that's the case, then you're living in a very beautiful world in your head that I want to be a part of. But Zuckerberg also took a very huge risk to do so, because he honestly could have just rode the Facebook wave all of his life and not risk losing as much money, then risk his entire company to transition into this new field. This could be totally crazy or genius. But like they say, there's a very thin line between genius and insanity. I guess we'll see which one that is in the future.